I am a prophetess. And a prophetess is one who gets divine inspiration through the Word of God and the risen Christ. This is one of the most serious prophecies that I have given out since I started with the Rhema Word. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. What's coming has to do with the cleansing on the earth, the purification of America and of the world. Here to split the atom of philosophy and religion.
In everyone's life, there are rivers to grow, sunny and deep, storm-dashed and tossed, oceans of peace into the clouds. Late as can be, he walks with me, right by my side. Storm raging wild, winds blowing high, mountains so bright, light up the sky. I hear no storm, I fear no harm, safe as can be, he walks with me, right by my side. So weary am I, filled with woe, storm clouds arise, and on will I go. He'll hold my hand, safe on that shore, safe as can be. He walks with me, right by my side. Storm raging wild, winds blowing high. Mountains so bright, light up the sky. I fear no storm, I fear no harm, safe as can be, he walks with me, right by my side. Storm raging wild, winds blowing high, lightning so bright, lights up the sky. I fear no storm, I fear no harm, safe as can be, he walks with me, right by my side, right by my side. Wow, isn't that something? Wow, and you want to know the truth? I'm not afraid. I have no fear, and I know who I can trust in daily. Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. We have a world out there. Satan is a prince and power of the air. That's where he landed when he got thrown out of heaven. He thought he was going to take over heaven, take over God's place and do his thing. And you know what? We got a lot of people running around today, very similar. Excuse me. They're running around saying, I'm going to do my own thing. Don't touch my body. Don't go with, excuse me, against Roe versus Wade. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't touch me. I'm the untouchables, I guess. Well, let me tell you something right now. At the age of 41 and 42, I became pregnant both times, and I was a Christian, and both times I was really shocked. I didn't have a job at the time, and I was lacking a lot of things, and not only that, but I hadn't had any children in 17 years, and The doctor said to me, first doctor I went to, you know what? You're going to have postpartum hemorrhaging. You're going to have postpartum depression. You'll probably have a mongoloid child because of your age. It's all against you. It's just going to happen that way. So I went to an abortion clinic, and they showed me via this little TV pictures of how they do it. And you know, I had 3 children previously, and normal children, you know, and everything, 17 years previously, or what have you. And I went in there, you know, not knowing what to think, but I came out of there when that movie was over, and I said, I will not get an abortion. And the woman said, why not? She worked there. She said, I just got one the other day because, you know, I had 2 children. I really didn't want 3. So she said, you can have it done on Thursday. We do them every Thursday. $200 and something it was back then. And I said, no, thank you. And I walked out. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. You know what? I had Susanna. And today she is a college teacher. She runs for the Cure. She is an artist. She's beautiful. She's smart. And I'll tell you, I enjoyed her so much. She was a little doll walking around. I just adored her. She brought so much love into my heart. And I'm telling you right now, I thank God I did it. But then I got pregnant again. And this time I had a little boy, and Samuel. And I named him Samuel Isaac, you know. And he was handsome. Doctors said he was perfect. He was born and everything, you know. And all the things that they said against my kids didn't happen. You know, Samuel had his own drywalling business. Now, I'm not saying they didn't have problems. Teenagers, you know, maybe got into a little pot, did things, you know, that they shouldn't and stuff. But when you put it all down, you face the whole thing, I'm telling you, I could not live today without all of my children. And I had 5, and they all were different. And you know what? Some didn't develop as fast as the other ones. And some had, like one was a chef. And, you know, and they all did different things. One is like a missionary. He's on a bike. He goes all over the country, tells people about the Lord. And they all were different. But they were all God's children. You know that? And I had to share that with you today because I was on the 700 Club. I have that. I have that video, DVD. No, I'll have it on DVD now. But I was on the 700 Club in 1986, I believe it was. And I had my 2 little kids on there and stuff. You know, and when you weigh it all out, I would never, ever consider. You know, I had a free choice. Nobody told me that I had to get an abortion. Nobody told me I couldn't get an abortion. I was a woman. I made my own decision, you know. And for me, I felt it was the right decision. I even wrote an article for Naki Loeb of the Manchester Union Leader about my escapades and my things, you know. But, you know, all this hullabaloo about don't touch my body, you're taking away my rights, it's a bunch of garbage. Nobody's taking away anybody's rights. They aren't doing that right now. And I think people are panicking for no reason. You know, when I first got pregnant at the age of 41, I started to panic. But then I got a hold of myself. And I said, now, I'm a Christian. The Lord loves me. He will bring me through this. And you know what? I had hardly nothing in labor. Hardly nothing. I came through that with flying colors with both of them. And the doctors were totally amazed at the health of those children. I went back 6 weeks later after I had the second one, and the doctor examined me, and he said, you know what? You're like an 18-year-old kid. I can't believe this. You got something on your side. 2 beautiful children. And you know what? There's days they haven't pleased me. They haven't chosen what I would choose. But who am I to judge? Who am I to judge that baby before it's born and say, you have no rights because you're just a piece of flesh in there. You're part of my body. I never felt like those kids were part of my body. I always felt like they were separate individuals. And when they moved under my breast, I knew I had a life in there. And I'm sorry to get carried away on this. I didn't plan on it. But, when you see your daughter, and she's a beautiful girl, and she's a teacher, a college teacher. She went to college, and she didn't have an easy life. There were things that were hard. She got through them. And you see the things that she's done in her life, that she's accomplished. An artist is nothing like a beautiful artist. I would have liked to become an artist. And she's just beautiful inside and out, And you see your kids struggling, but they make it. They become overcomers, and they make it. And I don't care if one of them makes it at 35, and the other one makes it at 20, or one makes it at 45. My kids, all 5, are going to make it. If they haven't, they will make it, and I'm trusting in that, And we need to have more love in our heart, love for that little heart that's beating in there. We need to have love. I did it. Anyone can do it. I had the choice. I could have put my children out for adoption. I had many choices. I made my choices, and I'm happy. Here it is, 35 and 36 years later. I made my choices way back then, and I had to go with my conscience. I do have a conscience. And I thought to myself, what will I think down the road? Will I wonder what they look like? Well, I wondered, would they have turned out to be a president, or what might have become of them? Would they be a help on the earth, or what? And I said, I can't live with that. I just can't live with that. I'm going to go for it. And when I first saw those 2 children as babies, I couldn't believe it. I picked them up and I said, thank God I made the right decision for me. And that's what I wanted to tell you about that. So I'm going to get into the word today, the spoken word. This is Carolyn Blake Bashaw, and this is a prophetic program. It's a spoken word. And the funniest thing is when you walk with the Lord, the little tiniest things mean a lot to him, for you. The other night, my husband lost his wedding ring, and I prayed, and I said, oh God, please, please, because it meant so much to him. And so I said, go get the yardstick. Let's poke under the couch. I heard ting, and it rolled out. There was the wedding ring, and prayer answered. Just a little thing. But God, when he loves you, he loves everything about you. Even that decision that you have to make about whether or not you want to have a baby or you don't want that baby. God is there beside you, wanting to lead you, wanting to guide you and direct you, And I have to add this little thing. I had a real heavy spirit the other day. I think it was the 7th of July, and all those kids were in that cave. And I prayed. I prayed my heart out for those kids. I did not want one of them to get hurt. I wanted to see them come out. And the Lord spoke to me. He spoke to me about it, And I'm telling you, I could not believe what he said, because what he said came to pass the very next day. I didn't have time to get in here, I didn't have time to come and see. But listen to this. Listen. 7/7/18. Children in cave in Thailand. You will see a release. He said, the waters will subside somewhat. They got in, they will get out. Starting tomorrow, he said 7/8/18. I have covered them with a cloak of my love. Many will come to their aid. Watch me work in this. That was a complete miracle that happened. That didn't just happen. God guided the hands of all those people that were involved in that. I want to tell you that. But can you believe it? I get up the next morning and, out comes 4. And then the next day, 5. And sure enough, God's word came to pass. And I will tell you some more interesting things. I have a load of stuff for you today. I'm telling you. And I'm going to tell you one thing. All these people that are yelling and acting like belligerent children out there, oh, we didn't get our way, whatever. It's all of the enemy. It is crazy out there screaming, yelling, putting their posters up. And you know what? After a while, it gets beleaguering to the rest of us, because God be true and every man a liar. God said he put Trump in there, and Trump's going to do things, and nobody is going to stop him. So you can holler, you can gripe, you can bite your nails, you can scream, you can hit others, you can chew people, you can do all these bad things you want to do. But you know what? You're not going to change one thing. Not one thing. You watch and see. Okay? All right. 4:25:18. This is a new day, he said. Evil is moving in and out. The twins of darkness are moving past, he said. The winds of time shall cover people over. I shall deal harshly with those who are evil bent, he said. They are full of demonic pleasure. I allow such, he says, to draw my people in. So you can see the difference between black and white, good and evil. You can see it, And then you see these people come together in the world that work together to get these kids out. And my husband and I had tears in our eyes. It was because watching people come together in love. In love, you can conquer anything. If you really want to conquer things, get on the other side. Start praying and go at it with love. You'll see more change. You'll never see any good come out of hatred. You won't see it. And what gets me is when I see these people on there that are politicians that have been in the ring probably 40, 50, 60 years, what have you, and they're out there screaming, oh, this is horrible. You're going to lose your rights. And we've got to fight. We got to fight. We got to fight. You know what? Nothing's been won by wars. And I'm going to tell you again today, as I told you last time, the real enemy is not Russia. It's not Iran or Iraq or some other country. The enemy is within in the United States. The real enemy is in here itself, in our people, fighting over immigration, fighting over things. And when you're fighting, guess what you do? You open the doors wide for evil to come in. You open the doors wide for people to come across your borders. Not that they're all evil, but your borders are not being run over. They're being raped. You are opening the doors when you bring evil through your spirit into the world. Imagine that. You are helping the enemy out. And the other people are struggling. They're sitting in their rooms praying, and they are helping God. They are helping the Lord. They are helping by bringing in warring angels, ministering angels. There are angels from heaven that you can't see. They are all around God's people, and they're around me. And I have seen them come through for me many, many times, and they will come through for you. Do you want the angels, or do you want the little devils running around? Which do you pick today? Get with it. Please get with it. All you people out there, including myself, I need to get with it some days. Don't think I'm perfect, or don't even think I'm perfect. I'm not. I know I'm not. I'm flesh just like you. I can do things that I shouldn't do. And believe me, if I could do my life over, I'd change a few things just like all of us, But the thing of it is, I learned, and I wish I learned sooner, that God is greater, So, now we have here wait a minute, whoops, I want to miss this. My child, do not search for me. I am not near you. How many people search for God? I am within you. The kingdom of God is within you, if you let it in. I will never leave nor forsake they who are indebted to me. When you become filled with doubt, I sense it all. When you praise me, demons will move away from you. They will go away. Praise suffocates the power of the enemy. Listen to that. Now, soon you will be free to receive everything new if you follow me. I see many coming forward to renew their walk. Isn't that beautiful? The young people today, they're going to get with it. They're going to swallow this stuff. They're not going to laugh and say, oh, that's not true. Because you know why? All you got to do is look around you. You can see the power of the enemy. So you know there's got to be a greater power somewhere, you know. So here we go. Now, I do not command such evil in your minds. Erase it from your minds. It says, put on the mind of Christ. You know, renew your mind. Don't let your mind control you. You know, I've had days and nights where I'd start thinking about something, you know, something that was negative, and, oh, geez, I got to get this out of my mind. I don't want this in my mind. So I start singing songs about this power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. And before I know it, they're gone. The enemy don't want to hear about the blood of the Lamb. He don't want to hear how Jesus sacrificed himself for us. Now, he said, I see much on the path of all my people ahead. He said, I see many calling. He says, calling to me. You know, much worth coming to those who are concerned for my son. Oh, he said, you will wonder as my word, he said, my word, the Rhema Word and the spoken word, of which there is many speaking, and the written word, is going to come to the top. It's like the cream coming to the top of the milk. This is the time of resolution, renovation, resurrection, and all these rededication. All good words are going to start coming to pass. I tell you right now, people will wonder all over the world. My people will have open doors as never before. So think not of the evil that comes to your mind, but count it all joy that you are walking for me. A new road will enter in for my people. Now, 4:26:18. Now, a turnaround is due to follow my people. Do you not see, my people out there, that I am in charge? All is not in vain. Rest, my children. Be ready for a new walk. Just keep open to me. Never wear a closed mind. I almost said a clouded mind. That too. But never wear a closed mind. To all I do and all I am. Your blessings are moving out even now. Good news on your path. I see many excelling for me. They will see a change in their revenues pouring in. Many will sense your needs and come to you, my people. I will send them your way. Do not be grim, but rejoice. Move on in me, and I will restore all that the cankerworm has stolen. I see your names on my deed in heaven. He has a deed, and it's like a house deed. I see your names on my deed in heaven. Isn't that wonderful? You think you have a mortgage and you have a deed. There is a deed in heaven. It has all the names of those who love him. Now he says, 6:27:18, my word is sufficient. You can count on it. Right here, I reveal myself to many through, he says, my written and spoken word. It is not complicated. It is complementary to my people who know it. I do exist. I rule and reign with a sovereign hand. Look that up in the dictionary, sovereign. Find out what that means. I know all you need to know. There is nothing to fear, my children, he said. You are safe. There is love in the places where you abide when you walk in me. If you want to be safe, be in him. Now, I have released my love, the love of my son to you. Isn't that something? Now, he said, many, many will be blessed who follow me. Now, there are those who like to follow after the enemy. They are abusers and users. And you know, they're all over the place. and you've got to be careful. I had 2 squatters in my house, and they were abusers and users. And the drug dealers came in, they raided the place, but you know what? You know what? Touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. God warns you, if you're out abusing and using, whether it's drugs, whatever it is, you are opening yourself up for the enemy. The enemy has permission to attack you or me if we abuse, if we use others falsely, if we go out and run them down, we gossip. I had a situation not too long ago where this person went out, run me down to almost everybody that she could do. But you know what? I feel sorry for people that do that, because when you do, you open yourself up to sickness, disease, accidents. You know, like I told you a long time before, this woman went to court against me one time and lied about me. She disappeared. I went to look for her, and somebody said, she's dead. I said, why? She's only like 40 or not now. They said, go up to the cemetery. So I went up to the cemetery right here in Bells Falls. And I said, oh my God, what happened to her? She's in the ground. They said, well, she was walking down the street one day, decided to cross the street, Atkinson Street. When she did, car hit her. She went to get up, and a big Mack truck came down, went right over the top of her. She opened herself up by doing evil. You don't want evil in your life. You just don't need it, and you don't want it. Turn your back on evil, because nothing good will come from it. You know? So I shared that with you before. But anyway, so we see, I hear your prayers, he says, and if you give your children to me, they will become mine. Excuse me, I got this little frog here. Now, I asked him about the fires. I really felt a strong sense to pray for these fires out west. They will contain them. Do not fear over the earth. 7:18. All must pass before you. Many fires have been set. Listen to this. Who's setting these fires? Excuse me. I'm going to take a cough drop here. We'll get rid of this thing. Now, excuse me. Now, many fires have been set by indigent, demonic, antagonistic humans who seek to eliminate America. They roam your country and are drug enthusiasts. They are not of your land, but come over your open borders. They are sent in to overpower your people. They are like a cancer. They fight to spit on your land. I'm going to tell you, the enemy is from within. And these are people that are coming in here that are planning these fires. I was in the middle of the woods a month ago on this little cow path in a truck, and I thought the truck was going to tip over. Thank God I wasn't driving, but I looked around me. I could have started a fire right there. Nobody would ever known, and left. And we have some thick wooded areas in this country. And these fires, I would say 90% are being set. Now, children in the cave in Thailand, you will see a release. He said, I just read that to you. Okay? Now, Supreme Court judge, that's coming up. A smooth process as Trump has control. You know, they can make all kinds of noise and scream and yell and holler, but you know what? He's in charge. They can't change that. Supreme Court backed him up on something just a while ago. He's walking in his own walk. He's not listening to them. They're just like little children babbling away. They cannot change what's going to come. Trump has the whip of control. He fears nothing and no one. He holds the highest office in the land. Isn't that something? Your country will no longer bow to anyone. He has taken on China, the slothful dragon, who has raped your land of its resources for years. But no more. The whole system of thievery is over. He stepped in, and it's over now. Isn't that something? Now, he will get the wall. If anyone's questioning, he is going to get the wall, no matter what. It is under construction already. All Latin immigrants of other countries will be stonewalled, he said eventually. Christianity, listen to this, has been flooded with ancient voodoo, Asian science, and every other false god it can. But now I have placed a man in office, he said. He said to stop the thievery in your government. There is a spirit of self first in your land. Selfies, taking pictures of yourself. Selfies, we got to have selfies, you know. I'm first. I'm the best. You know, that is a spirit of self. It's called the God of Zeus. Look up the God of Zeus. It stands for God of the flesh. I will stomp it out. The political arena is the center of thievery in the U.S. Politicians have holes in their pockets. Can you believe that? You know what he's saying? They're stuffing their pockets and the money is going down through and they don't care where it goes, but they are robbing the government. He said, watch me work. 7:9:18. He says, I see a raid on your land. Vile mouths. No respect for your leader. I see prison reform coming in. They're not going to like this. It's coming. There's a straitjacket coming to the prison system. There's a straitjacket coming to those who have been parading around and mouthing off and bringing down our land, making fun of our flag. There's going to be new laws pulled in and drawn up for the flag, the stripes or whatever, and for the Word of God and for everything that we had respect for when I was growing up. It's all coming back. I'll tell you right now. Now, I see many, he says, convictions coming. Where people have gotten away with stuff before, there's going to be a hammer coming down. New stringent laws. I see Trump surrendering to none. I see him standing. He's going to stand as a world figure. I see many loud voices threatening the conservatives' right, but all to no avail. Roe versus Wade. I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to like it. You'll probably throw a squash or a tomato at the TV. That's all right. Turn the button off if you don't like it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've been right hundreds and hundreds of times. Not me, but God himself. He said, will you hear this? Roe versus Wade, listen, is over very soon. Crushed. It's going to be crushed to death because I ordain it. Millions of babies have gone, but he said it's going to stop. New world order pushing in. I see many weather casualties. I see many murders moving in. I see hatred at the boiling point. All of the died children safe and sound. He said, I see that. That was on the 9th. He says, I see the world rejoicing. Little do they know that many prayed and guided them all out of that underground cave. Now, I said that before. You know, I see monsoons, weather corrections. I see a political fallout, all to no avail. He says, Trump will stand his ground. I see you excelling, my children and me. And a smooth transition as the Lord takes over your life. Now this is 7:10:18. There is a new season on the earth. All rebellion is moving to overcome good, but good always overcomes evil. A spiritual war is at work now. It has many facets to it. He said, it disguises itself as good, but the fruits are evil and rotten. Who could eat of them? Trump will control the League of Nations. Listen to that. I saw him in action this morning. I got this on the 10th, 2 days ago. He will rope them all together and they will surrender to him. Take notice of his brass shoes. Brass shoes, he said. Shoes represent your walk. He has brass. He has gall. He's not afraid. He can walk anywhere without fear. For he has been chosen to guard your nation from rebel rousers, inside and out. My power will reign in the whip of obedience that he carries. Obeying. Your young are full of wantonness and disobedience. They will soon see the rod of correction moving over your land. No more freedoms to overpower the rule of obedience in America. Watch the downfall of the mouthy and froward. They're fed by arrogance by their parents, who are drug lords that have controlled the young in America for generations. Excuse me. Take note, all who have abused their bodies with drugs will soon, eventually be diseased if they don't come to me. He said, unhealthy. The human body chain is broken down when drugs enter in. Your immune system can't handle them. It can't take it. Even their offspring have weakened genomes. There will be an explosion of, there's going to be an explosion of illness coming as of 2019. It will be falling on all of the children of rebellion. Those who mock me, those who spurn me, those who worship themselves, who are in the mode of thinking they know it all. Sorrow will be at their door. It is time to separate the sheep from the goats. And that's in this word here, that he's going to separate sheep from the goats. Now, little sheep, very gentle, soft, and sweet. A goat will butt you, chew off your buttons, and do all kinds of weird things. But a little baby sheep is so soft and just and that's the difference between the people. The moon will darken, the sun will become fiery red, and the winds will blow to dust in the eyes of evil, blinded by their own darkness. My bride will blossom forth, and she will look radiant. Miracles will be open for all to see. Praise will rise in unison in song all the way to heaven. I see a global economy coming and a World Bank. They've already got the World Bank. It's in Brussels, Belgium. And that's where Trump went. Many scream for freedom of murder, thievery, etc. There is no such thing as freedom when one walks in rebellion. Obedience is the only walk that releases freedom. He who is free in me is free indeed. My son set the captives free. I say, surrender, submit to the earth. Your flesh or to the spirit man, my son, time is rushing on. Your youth is moving past. Your old age is coming. You will lose your voice, your strength, and maybe even your mind. Everything will dissolve on the earth. Fires and floods are moving in. He that stands in me, the great Jehovah, in my Son and Holy Spirit, will rise again and become one in my kingdom forever. And this is today, 7/12/18. A rush of events coming, the insurgents of immigrants still flooding your land. Trump will demand change. But it says sometimes things are slow in coming because of your judges who are not efficient in your land. They are not efficient. I can vouch for that right here in the state of Vermont. I've been in court, I don't know how many times, for other people as a witness, jury, everything. And I'll tell you what, right in the state of Vermont, I feel the judges do not do what the law says. I feel they are very liberalistic, extremely so. And each time I come away and said to myself, God, where is your justice? Where is it? Why did that father lose his child? Why can't grandparents see their grandchildren? Why is an elderly person abused by drug dealers and others, and they steal from her house? Why? And judges say, go right back and live there. You have every right, to these people. I'll tell you, there's something wrong with this world today. And I'll tell you, I was born Bellows Falls, Vermont. I lived on the West Coast. I came back here one day. I said, I'm coming back to my place. And I have been hurt here so much in the courts. Grandchildren taken away, all kinds of things happening. But guess what? God's in charge. I know I'm going to have victory. I know I'm going to win. You know, when the time's right, and I'll be right here to share that with you. Now, the judges are not sold out to the land, he said, to the rules of the land. You know, they fill the courts with liberalism. They do not uphold the law of the land, the Constitution, or the laws of the Ten Commandments. They are men who believe in a pluralistic, whatever that means, society. They are groomed to believe they are above the president. They believe they can jail the president and he has no power. And we've had judges come against him in this country, proving this. They usurp the control over the people, all of the people. They are liberals who are out to snuff out all conservatives, conservatism. Now, this strand of fiber runs through the whole court system in America. The churches are weak. Who will stand and have a, he said, but he says, I don't care if I just have a handful of people. They will overcome and they will stand, and all this evil is going to blow away like the wind. That's what he said. Now I have just a couple little more things. I'll get this straightened out. Okay. I am crucified with Christ. Verse 20, chapter 2 of Galatians. I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live. Yet not I, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. So you walk by faith and not by sight. And boy, I'll tell you, good things can happen when you do that. Now let's see what we got here. See if we can find some music.
When my Jesus saved me, washed my sins away.
Yes.
Cast them in the bottom of the sea.
Bottom of the sea.
Pick me up, turn me around.
Turn me around.
Feet on higher ground.
Put my feet on higher ground.
Happy, glad, and free.
Now I'm happy that I'm free. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Today I know I'm free. He's with me, and if I stay close to him, safe and will be.
Burdens now lighter.
Yes, burdens lighter. Yes,
It's such a joy to walk with him.
a joy to walk with him.
When the journey here is o'er, I set my feet on heaven's shore. Turn the key on joy that began.
Wow. You know, we had a group in Charlestown, New Hampshire. I was in a group. They played a Christian song. I stood alone, but I stood up. I'm not afraid. Oh, glory. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Today I know I'm free. He's with me, and if I'm close to him, safe from all the danger I will be. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Lord, today I know I'm free. I'm free, are you? Come on, join me. He's with me. Stay close to him. I don't mind being a fanatic. Don't worry about what they think. I will be. Wow. Thank you so much for watching the Rhema Word.